Welcome to One on One with Jane. I'm your host, and today I have Kelly on my show. She's been writing since 2012. What actually got you into writing?
So I used to take yoga in an upstairs studio, and I would pass a publisher every day. And I just stopped in one day to talk with him and ask him like what his publishing company did, and he's a hybrid publisher. So I told him I always wanted to write a book, and he's like, "You should. What's your passion?" And I said, "Homelessness." So he said, "Why don't you write about homelessness?" And that's how it began. And I decided to make a documentary style book and travel around the U.S. and talk to people.
Oh, that's good. A lot of homeless people are very intelligent. Did you run into anyone very intelligent?
Yeah, one had a master's degree in engineering, but he had embezzled from his company and lost everything and went to prison, so decided to kind of go off the grid after that. Quite a few of them, actually, were really intelligent people. They just had circumstances that made it impossible for them to function in society. So,
Did a lot of them have any bad habits?
well, yeah, quite a few were drug addicted, mentally ill, or alcoholics.
Oh, yeah. So, how long did it take you to write it?
4 years. So I went to quite a few shelters, private and public, and I interviewed 28 people, and then 4 people who have come out of homelessness and are productive citizens. Citizens again. One is my publisher. He was homeless for 11 years on Skid Row with a crack habit.
Oh. Did he actually pull out of that?
Yeah, he pulled out of it. He was an extra in Star Trek and worked at Universal Studios and was a air traffic controller. And so, yeah, he got into cocaine and crack, and his life went downhill. But he did get back on track. He's been clean now. Gosh, I don't know. I've known him since 2012, and he's still clean.
He probably wasn't into that in the 80s, because I was in the 80s.
Yeah, quite a while ago,
Mm-hmm.
when Star Trek was on TV. So
I think
you can imagine.
I think Star Trek caused that to happen. I hated that show. My brother liked it.
Yeah, yeah, he was a Klingon extra. So.
Oh wow, you never know. We play some addictions on some shows. Did you write every day until you made it happen?
I would go once a week to the homeless shelters around Detroit, in Ferndale and Detroit proper, like Greentown. And then when I could, I would get in my car and go out west and travel around. I went to California, Montana, Utah, Wyoming, Nevada. And then I went out east to Schenectady, New York, and to Canada. But Canada really, they take better care of their homeless population. They have a lot more benefits and shelters that are like government funded. So they really had not too many homeless when I went.
You probably saw some homeless people in parks too, because a lot of homeless people live in parks.
Yeah, in California, every park is completely full of homeless people. And Grand Central Station, Chinatown.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
Yeah, why? Because when I went there in 2013, I was in the McDonald's bathroom, and this lady said to me, not to me, she looked in the mirror and she was like, "I made it, I'm a famous actress." She was going crazy. I peed really fast and I ran out of there.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that. A lot of people go out there to make it, and then they have a hard time, and they struggle, and then they end up homeless.
Yeah, or addicted, and then the drugs lead to homelessness and to psychosis. So, yeah, there was quite a lot of mental illness, and quite a few people told me that the state they live in would give them a bus ticket and send them to California.
Oh, wow.
Which I found interesting.
Oh, that's weird because it's very expensive out there.
Yeah, but I think because it's warm, and so they just want to get them out of their city. And I didn't get to San Francisco, which I wish I would have had time, but I heard that the homeless problems there have escalated to a crisis.
Oh wow! I went there before, but it was too cold. That was the coldest part of the whole. Like we drove from San Diego to San Francisco, then the Grand Canyon. We went to two different places, and I'll never forget. My friend thought, "Oh, I can massage there," but it's too expensive to be a massage therapist over there.
Yeah, it was very expensive.
So, what's your other book?
My other book is called Galisteo Nights, and I like to tell stories. So I was out west, and all the way home I was thinking about the area I was in, which was Madrid, New Mexico, and Galisteo, Cerrillos, Golden, that area. And this story got in my head about a ghost who died, and she goes back and hangs out her ranch and falls in love with the caretaker.
Mm-hmm.
Because her father, after her death, was hospitalized for mental illness because he saw her. So this young man is the caretaker, and he was a football player who got injured and lost his scholarship. So it kind of morphs into their relationship. He thinks she's real. Then a Native American boy ends up on the property, and his mother is Native American, and she's a seer, like from a shaman line. And so they realize that the ghost is a ghost, and they're trying to help him realize it. So it's kind of got a love triangle. We call it a romantic ghost tale between worlds.
Did you actually buy a little recorder to record your ideas everywhere you go? Like I used to have a little recorder.
No, it just was in my head for 3 days driving home. I came home and I wrote it. It took a week to write the whole story. Then I did a lot of research on how people can feel ghosts are real, and with brain injuries that can happen. I researched the hieroglyphs and petroglyphs out there, the Native Americans, sweat lodges, ceremonies, things like that. So it's got a lot of really, really good information because it's researched and it's true, but it's fantasy fiction.
Yeah, I understand. I bet you probably just read more when you're doing research like I do as a writer too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I don't know about marijuana, but I have to do a lot of reading. A couple of my movies are about marijuana. I'm not a smoker, but I know people that smoke, and sometimes I'm asking people that smoke questions about marijuana. So, did you get a chance to publish that one too?
I did. So the same publisher, it's ASA Publishing Company, and I think I don't know. He doesn't have his stamp on that one, but it's here, ASA Publishing Company in Monroe. He's a hybrid publisher. This one just got published a month ago, so it's available on Amazon.com, both of them, and Barnes and Noble.
What does hybrid mean?
Hybrid is, so I didn't have an agent that solicited a publisher. I went to the publisher and paid them a fee, and you do the writing, and they work with you to edit and to design a cover, and they pay for the printing fee, and it's print on demand. So whenever someone orders the book, it's printed. Forgotten Souls is available on ebook and hard copy, paperback.
That's good. Yeah, I actually went back into my book today. Actually, it's like a poem book, and I was gonna cut out some poems, but they're really good. But it went out of control. I had a friend of mine that helped check over the grammar, and I was like, wow, it's too out of control. Because when my mom passed away, I kept writing, and I was writing before that too. So some of it is romance, some of it is kind of erotic, and some of it is like regular, and some of it is like I actually have a pen name too, but I didn't really. It's hard to. I don't know how to go about doing that. I thought of a cool idea because a lot of more men, like girls, should switch their name around to initials to sell it faster. Because I did research.
Yeah, I just go by my name, Kelli Lee Mistry. But I think if you're thinking about publishing, I didn't look into self-publishing, but I think it's very similar to hybrid, except you have to pay the fee and you have to do all your editing and design and then submit it to the printing company.
Yeah,
So,
I had everything ready, but I moved from one place to the next place, and I was doing so much nonstop, and I put it on hold again. And I don't know how to go about it. I just know how to write screenplays to tell you the truth. And poetry. Are you writing anything new?
I actually wrote 2 books in the last 4 years. The other one is another fantasy fiction, and it's called My Gypsy Soul. And I lived in Mexico, and I had some ghosts in my home, and I had a medium in. And one of the ghosts was my father in the 1700s, and he said we were gypsies, and he exploited my gifts at circuses. So I went through hypnosis and remembered that lifetime, so I wrote my lifetime as a gypsy.
Okay, thanks a lot.
That one's close to my heart. I really love it. Most people don't believe in reincarnation, so it's still fantasy fiction.
Okay,
But
thank you for being on One-on-One with Jane.
you're welcome.